There you go.
Boom.
And I think we're live. It's still loading.
Hello.
If you guys see it, there it is. Okay. So if you can see us, if you can hear us, hear us, make sure you drop it in the comments and let us know. Today's a big day. Welcome to DNC Marketing.
Hello.
And today we're going to be talking about e-commerce and how to rank on Amazon and several factors that Amazon looks for when ranking your products and stuff on their platform. So let's get to it. Okay, welcome back. So we're also going to be oh my god. I do have my coffee. It's going to be a rough day, I think. We're also going to be talking about the three-part product description formula that we created several years ago and how that fits in to helping you rank on Amazon. Amazon. Okay. So one of the first things we want to talk about is the conversion rate. So we're just going to dive right into this. And as you have comments, as you have questions, please drop them. This can be a little bit complicated, much like Google SEO, but we're going to try to really simplify this for you. There are several things that help you rank on Amazon specifically that are a little bit different from Google and SEO and all of that. Mm-hmm. So first one is conversion rate, obviously.
So, sorry.
No, you go ahead. You want to take it?
Basically, I was just going to say that that's sort of a term that Amazon has for themselves. If you look up some of the more business-related accounts or whatever when it comes to going into Amazon, like Amazon Business. So the way they define conversion rate has quite a few different factors, but we kind of narrowed it down to what we believe to be the top 5 overall factors. The very first one is what they call sales rank, and that's going to be pretty self-evident. Basically, Jesus. Will you just leave?
If you can hear the motorcycle, let us know. He's just hanging out. Anyways,
basically, the long short of it is how well are you selling, right? I mean, much like Facebook or Instagram or whatever, their algorithm goes more towards engagement. Amazon's going to go more towards sales. So if you are producing sales numbers, it's going to be pushing you up the rankings. As an example, let me backtrack 1 second. So keep in mind, it's not just your overall numbers, but like how quick things are moving for you.
Yeah.
So a tip / trick / maybe not such a great thing, but kind of depends, I guess, on how you view it. Let's say you want to be an Amazon bestseller, right? Let's say you're just like, oh my God, that would be so great, and I can put that on my...
Oh, for novels, for books.
Whatever, yeah. Sure. Yeah, as far as like books are concerned. I mean, you can do this for other things, e-commerce as well, but it may be a little bit different. So all you got to really do, self-publish, right? Then you put it for... $49.99, some price that no one's going to buy your book for. Then you put it for 99 cents, so it shows a huge reduction in price. Excuse me. Then you tell your followers, your fans, your neighbors, your family, everybody to buy your book for just $99 or 99 cents. You can also just actually pay them back too. Like, I mean, I've seen people do that where they just they tell everybody, like, buy the book, I'll refund you the cost of the book so you can get it for free. And then most of the time they usually tie that into some sort of BS where they're like, it's because Amazon won't let me do this or whatever, but the point is they give them the refund. It doesn't matter. With all those sales coming in at once, right? You tell them, I'm only going to do this for the first, for the next 6 hours, I'm going to drop the price from $50 to 99 cents. Normally you're going to get a lot of people buying, in which case that your rank is going to increase. And all of a sudden, in just 6 hours or 8 hours or 12 hours, depending on what you want to tell people and how far you want to extend it, if you haven't gotten there yet, you're suddenly, literally the top ranked book on Amazon. You may be beating out the Stephen King books and James Cameron books and Harry Potter and J.K. Rowling. And you can beat out all of them, depending on your own subcategories that you put yourself into, of course. But you can now claim to be an Amazon bestseller.
Right, and what you would have to do is watch the rankings, because that'll disappear very quickly. So what people have
done.
Yeah.
Now you officially have it. And I've even seen people do it with blank books, just as like a proof of concept. Like people have done this with literally a book that has nothing but a cover on it that says like how to become an Amazon bestseller or something like that. You know, like it's a hack. It's a gray area, I guess, in terms of what you find to be okay in terms of, you know, but we haven't done that. We're not going to do that. If we ever do hit bestseller status on an ebook or something like that, you know, we're going to be trying to do that the right way.
Right.
But other people do it, and so there you go.
The whole point of that is to say that it is pretty easy to increase your rank on Amazon if you are following all of their rules, because their algorithm is not complicated. Like Facebook, the algorithm is very secretive. There's a whole lot that we don't know about Facebook's algorithm and what gets your stuff seen over time. We know some of the basics, but with Amazon, everything's in black and white. You can go to their website and follow all the rules exactly as they want them. The difficult part is actually doing that, right? The big thing is actually having people buy your products. You can get everything else in line, but then getting people to buy your products would be the hard part there that gets you ranked. Well, so it's very simple if you just follow all the rules, which should get you discovered. And if you've nailed what your customers are looking for and you're filling in all these blanks that we're about to cover, like that should be part of your whole system, and it shouldn't be too difficult, right?
I don't know. I guess so I'm going to disagree to some extent. I think for the most part, generally speaking, I think when you're talking about getting to that number one spot or you know, in that top page type of spot, I think, okay, so let me actually backtrack. I don't disagree with you. I think that sales obviously is a key, and what you're saying is that it's going to be difficult to figure out how to do that. That's the part I kind of disagree with, which is, if you take my example, the gist of it is a bunch of sales in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
If you're going to be selling on Amazon, it makes more sense, again, depending on your subcategory and things like that, to try to do mini sales that are bigger, that are going to increase your overall numbers.
Yeah.
I think Amazon is where you're going to find a really good success for loss leaders, things like that you can say, hey, for the next 24 hours, I'm going to be giving this, and just literally, again, I use the idea of a book, but you can do whatever. I'm going to be giving away this, I don't know, whatever, handbag, if you make handbags, at half price. And then if it's the point to that is to help increase your rankings for the other parts of your store. The child, like if you think of it like that's your loss leader, now you're trying to upsell everything else, right? Which is why Amazon has other features, like if people that have bought this have also bought that.
Yeah. The
other day when I bought this Yeti gallon container.
Not an affiliate.
Yeah, not an affiliate. Still really good though, if Yeti wants to be an affiliate. But no, when I bought the Yeti gallon container, it said, you know, other people purchased this, and they gave like 2 or 3 things. And I just bought the package instead of actually reading it, which then I actually had to return some of it because I realized that I guess the people who bought that have other Yetis, so like the lids didn't fit the gallon thing. They were a separate thing. So that, but my point to that was more that it did upsell me. Yeah. And there was a point in time when I was like, you know what? Maybe I should keep this lid because maybe I'll get Darian this Rambler cup or whatever for Christmas or something like that. I then decided to return it when Darian started yelling at me. So there you go.
There was no
Christmas ruined. Yeah. Thank you.
But we've also done like when bundles, right? We always tell you, and we're getting into the 3-paragraph formula, paragraph formula in a bit, but we always tell you in one of those paragraphs, you need to talk about the bundles and the things that go together. So if you sell like earrings and there's a necklace that goes really well with it, talk about it, link to it in that as well to show people like you can get these together. And if there's a deal, even better. Amazon does that automatically for you if you fill out those sections. So I think that is something you really need to take advantage of. And a lot of these are considered options that are really going to help you. And so they shouldn't be optional. You should be putting forth the effort to fill out every single thing and take every opportunity Amazon is giving you to put all the pieces of the puzzle together for your brand on Amazon so that people can see everything. Yeah, fill all the blanks.
And with that, a good way to do that is through the creative, right? Because people look at pictures, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, Amazon, Google. I mean, people are looking at pictures primarily and videos and things like that. So, if you're going to do I think, what was the example you used? Did you use like a ring set or something?
Yeah, earrings and a necklace.
Okay. So instead of just doing the earrings, as Darren was mentioning, when you showcase the set, maybe the primary picture can be the earrings, but the secondary picture you load is the same model with the earrings, or if the primary picture wasn't with a model, the second one could be with a model. Anyways, the point being, maybe the second picture is with the earrings and the necklace, right? And on the bottom it says necklace not included, sold separately or something like that, right? And then the following picture or two is shows the dimensions of the earrings, et cetera, so that way. And then of course make sure you have that covered in your specifications. The necklace was not included, etc. But again, have that in your people bought this, they go here too, and related products and suggested products and etc.
Yeah. So let's run through a few of these and then dive into the 3-part paragraph formula, because it's a huge part of what's going to help you not only rank, but actually give your customers all the information they need so that they're going to want to buy. Yeah. So first one is sales rank. We kind of talked about that, and that's pretty obvious. Like if you're making sales, you'll rank higher, which means you'll make more sales, which means you'll continue to rank higher.
Right.
So that one's pretty easy. Customer reviews and answered questions.
Sorry, real quick. Just to let you know, we're going to be creating an ebook for this and putting it out on Friday when we're doing our live Q&A. So make sure you join us on Friday to also get the ebook related to the topic points that we're talking about here, plus a little bit more, because obviously we're not going to be able to cover every single thing in just 45 minutes on this live.
Right. And if y'all have questions, even better, because we want to make sure we're focusing in on the things you're interested in, what you're struggling with.
Exactly. So, as Darren was mentioning, customer reviews and answered questions. Go ahead.
So the number and quality of product reviews is really going to rank on on how people view your product, obviously. So lots of reviews equals higher ranking, and answered questions actually helps with that. So there's a section in Amazon where you can have questions asked. Either you ask them, input them manually, or if your customers are asking them, make sure you're answering those, because as very faithful Amazon buyers, again, not affiliate, we pay really close attention to not just reviews, but answered questions and things like that to make sure that this is the product that we're looking for. So it also gives you you look at me. Sorry. Anyway, it also gives you a hint at what your customers need answered. So you can use this information on Amazon and what customers are like, will this fit my 6-year-old's finger if it's a ring or something like that? And you can be like, no, it's a size 6, whatever the answer might be. Take that information, put it in your FAQ on your website as well. So that's number 2.
Number 3, image size and quality. Generally speaking, Amazon wants things that are about 1,000 by 1,000 as far as pixels are concerned. Now, of course, there's some room to play with the creative elements, but that's generally how they want that image set up. And besides that, you want to make sure that you're producing quality images, mainly because you don't want to seem spammy or scammy, So the better images you have, just in general, it's going to feel like they're buying a product that is worth their investment, worth their money. If you just have a bunch of random photos that are kind of pixelated, don't show anything specific or very close or whatever. Again, it's hard for the person to make a judgment call on whether they want to purchase it or not.
Right, and then if they try to use the zoom feature, it's even worse. So people are just going to leave. They're not going to pay attention.
Yeah.
Number 4 is price. So obviously you want to price competitively, and you want to price your products right. So doing a little bit of competition research on Amazon specifically and what related products are being priced at, and then trying to be comparable or competitive in that way is going to be really important. So do your research and due diligence on the platform specifically where people are shopping, not just everywhere else, but also just specifically on that platform.
Right. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Amazon also has a feature where you can kind of allow them to adjust your pricing a bit depending on how other things are where other things are being bought from and how their pricing is.
Right.
But that is up to you as far as whether you want to try to utilize that feature or not, or if you want to set something there, and that's it. Done.
Yeah, it depends on your strategy. They have the competitive pricing software. I think it's called something like that, but very useful feature, and again, a good opportunity depending on your strategy.
Yeah. Now, one thing I want to talk about real quick, because actually this is not even something that we mentioned here, and maybe we can add it for the ebook, is a great opportunity for you to add people to your email list and things like that, is to give people like a registration card or some, a business card in there, a thank you card, whatever the case is, in the package, assuming that you're not doing some sort of drop shipping from Amazon. Because obviously if you're doing that, it's a whole different ball game, right? Yeah. You don't really have control over it. But if you aren't doing that and you're shipping directly from like your house or a warehouse that you run or whatever, then a thank you card for their purchase is going to be awesome. To top that off, saying like, please visit our website, blah, blah, blah. It's going to just help increase your overall conversion rate, because you're going to have people who bought from you, who enjoy your stuff, sign up to learn more about you. Thus, you can start selling them directly from your website, or if you don't have a website, you can be directing them from into your Amazon link, saying like, hey, new earring set, hey, new necklace set, hey, new t-shirt design, whatever, coming your way, visit our Amazon store at blank, and then from there you can kind of increase your sales numbers.
Right. You can also email them with a follow-up saying like, how do you like the product? If you liked it, fill out the survey, take this discount, whatever it might be in that. Take advantage of that. And I've also seen for authors specifically, and a lot of times you'll see things in certain niches that start to slowly spread across other niches. So pay attention to that when you see it. And as soon as you are able to do it, jump on it as an additional strategy. But for authors specifically, they allow you to follow the author, and whenever they put out a new book on Amazon, it notifies you. So that's a very useful thing as well if you have books on Amazon.
Right.
The next part is going to be time on the page and bounce rate. So very similar to Google and SEO, if someone's on your website for a longer period of time, if they don't show up and then bounce right away, that starts to increase your ranking. Same thing on Amazon. If they are on your brands page, if they are on your product pages for a longer amount of time, or they're jumping between your products specifically, it's going to increase their dwell time, which is their time they spend on the page, which is going to increase your ranking because it's telling Amazon they're more interested in this particular product. Versus a bounce rate where they show up and then they show up and then they leave right away, which is going to inhibit your ranking.
Mainly because Amazon's just like Google and Facebook and anybody else, they want to know that you're providing value to your customer, and that your customer sees value in your product. So if people are clicking, right, and because I remember this used to be a bigger problem. It's not so much quite now, but it used to be a big thing, especially like in eBay and stuff, right? Just use the example of somebody showing off a picture of a phone, and then in the friggin' description it says this is for a picture of a phone, and it's like $500 or whatever. Yeah. This is not for the phone, and then that was a big thing, back in the day, maybe 10 years ago, whatever. People were trying to scam people out of money. And then it would just be like, well, you should have read the description, My point to that is that's sort of the same idea, right? Like, it's not quite that extreme anymore usually, but if people are clicking on your image, on your thing, on your description, your keywords and all that, and it says, dress, as an example. I don't know, satin dress or negligee or whatever, size 6 through 8, as an example. I don't know. I don't really know sizes. I don't know if that's big, small, medium. I don't know. But the point being, when they click on it and it says on the description, this dress or negligee or whatever that is, only is for sizes 0 through sizes 3. Like, the people who are initially searching for that are going to bounce.
Right, because you use the wrong keywords.
Yeah, they're going to bounce a lot faster. They're going to leave negative reviews. They're going, so like, even though you were trying, because that's the biggest thing, really, when you really think about it. 90% of the algorithms and things are just making sure that people don't get screwed over.
Yeah.
Right? It's always the people who try to game the system to get that extra sale that end up kind of screwing things up, because you tried to do that. You try to sell more negligees by adding these sizes, but the reality is, if you don't sell the size, you shouldn't have added it, right? But now Amazon's going to be more determined to punish you or punish other people who maybe that wasn't quite the case, but they're like, it just happens all the time where it's like that. People are always trying to find out how I can game the system to increase my ranking or my searching or whatever, instead of doing the hard work or the correct way of doing it and making sure that you're providing the best value you possibly can.
Right.
Thus the idea again of that being an Amazon bestseller by having 100 of your friends and families and neighbors and stuff buy books, you refund them their $1, and suddenly you can claim that. Like, yeah, technically you can do it, but you're screwing yourself over in the long run. You're screwing over a lot of people who are self-publishers, because now Amazon's going to have to try to figure out a way to make it toward that does not happen.
Right, because with every hack, exactly, eventually the algorithm is going to make it impossible to use the hack. Just like keyword stuffing with Google and SEO several algorithm changes ago.
Right. Exactly.
No longer able to do that. And also what I was going to say is, like, Amazon cares about their users' experience, right? They want people to buy because not only are they making money every time you sell, but they're making money off that customer who continues to come back and continues to buy. And if they're having a good experience, they will continue to do that. So how do they do that? They make it convenient for a customer, and they make it the price right for the customer. So if they can come to Amazon and very quickly find exactly what they're looking for at the exact price that they're comfortable paying, and then leave and go on with the rest of their day, that's exactly what people want. So Amazon wants to do that. And if you're messing that up by using the wrong keywords, which first forces a customer to have to search around, or you're doing something else that's not following in line with their rules, which makes it difficult for a customer, Amazon will eventually lower your ranking because of that behavior.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Also, I would want to mention that Amazon is probably not the place for you if you were trying to do something high-end.
Yeah, it's a price buster.
Right. Yeah. People go into Amazon expecting a deal of some sort, right? They're so it's a little, just to make sure you're aware of it. Although it is a one of the largest. Actually, isn't it the largest now? With Shopify being second and eBay being third. I think.
Yeah, that's right.
E-commerce site. Excuse me. People are going there though to find something relatively inexpensive, right? It's sort of like these Wish apps and all the Alibaba Express apps and things like that, where like you don't want to put your ring, just because they get a lot of traffic doesn't mean you want to put your ring on there for $800 for one ring, because people are going there to spend $800 on 1,000 rings that are some really cheap thing that they can give away for as giveaways and freebies and gifts and put in bags.
Right.
It doesn't make sense to put your product there and put your focus on advertising and things like that. Now that might change in the future. Amazon, I'm sure, will come out with something and maybe a little bit more high end that maybe they just change the name to a little bit, and that could be right. Otherwise, though, just be careful that you're not. Just like we were talking about pricing before, that you're not overpricing your products because you just say Amazon gets a lot of traffic, therefore I should not have a website. I'm just going to sell on Amazon my $1,000 jewelry set pieces. When they type in jewelry or watches or whatever, they're usually going there to see $100, maybe a $200 smartwatch or whatever, not necessarily this $900 custom made watch.
Right.
And I'm not saying you won't ever get any sales from that. I'm just saying that it's not necessarily the place that people go to for that.
Right. Having said that, though, it's a great place if you have a loss leader that is priced right for those kinds of people. Now, there's a few different ways I feel about this. Is if you're attracting customers looking for a price, but you don't sell anything else other than that one loss leader that's going to be the right price for those customers, may not end up being the strategy for you. Also, Amazon is a platform of consistency, like all of the social platforms and things that we talk about. So if you have just the one product, you put it up there, and then you never return to Amazon, you never have any activity there, it's not doing you any good. It was wasted effort.
Well, okay, so keep in mind that a loss leader isn't trying to upsell to a big price point. So your loss leader still needs to be on brand. What I mean by that is, like, if you sold, I don't know, let's say you made handmade furniture. Excuse me. Let's say you have a dining set that you made, and you're selling it for $200, and normally it's $400. Okay, you can say like that's our loss leader. That's where we're not really making any money off of this, but this is what we're promoting. Mm-hmm. That's fine, but you have to understand the people that are trying to buy that loss leader, you can upsell them, but you're not going to upsell them to the $6,000 dining set that you custom made, handmade, stained. You're going to sell. You might be able to upsell them to that a different $500 set, something that's still within a comparable point.
Right.
And then there's going to be a lot of people that just want that lost leader, and they don't want anything else.
Right.
So you got to be comfortable with that. You can't expect to put out a plastic ring with some really shitty quality, cubic zirconia or whatever, and sell that for $10, and then try to promote and say, here's this $1,000, half carat, beautiful, blah blah blah. It's just never going to happen.
Yeah. So then the second factors that we go over include things that fall under relevancy. So all of those fell a lot under like conversion and how you get people to actually buy with those different things, or what Amazon really looks at in the conversion category. Mm-hmm. The second category is in relevancy. So again, what customers are searching for, are they finding what they're searching for? And the first one is the title. Do you have something to say?
Well, all I was going to say was that you're going to see you're going to see a pattern, right? Just like we were talking about with ads before, if you followed some of the other lives we've done, it's creative headline copy, right? It's the same general formula. You want to have beautiful pictures. You want to be showcasing your pieces. You want to make them clear. You want to make them zoomed in. You want to let them to know exactly what they're getting, and then additional pieces that they could get with it. Then you want to have a headline that's going to be descriptive and click-worthy, not something that's just descriptive and boring, right? Mm-hmm. You want something that's going to really stand out and pop. But again, descriptive, right? You don't want to just have something that leaves them guessing.
Yeah.
And then again, now you have the copy. Now when it comes to Amazon, you're going to have a little room as far as copy is concerned. You can have a little piece, but mainly people are there to look at the bulleted list, which actually brings us to our next point, which is going to be features and bullet points. So basically use detailed bullet points, which include keywords in your product descriptions.
Mm-hmm. Yep. For the title, though, before we switch over too far there, make sure that you're using your keyword in the title, because obviously when people are searching, that's the first place they're going to see their search results showing up. I want a lace handkerchiefs, 5x11, whatever it might be. Right. And then Amazon also recommends that being under 200 characters. So just one of those little tips to think about. It says it'll show up a lot easier, which means people will be able to read the whole thing and click it because it's relevant.
Because you have to remember, again, it's all about mobile. Mm-hmm. Most people will shop on Amazon, not on their desktop, but statistically speaking, it's like 60 or 70% shop via their phone. Yep. So, smaller screens, smaller spaces, you got to make sure that you're leaning towards mobile first.
Yep. So then the features, benefits, and bullet points. Not just talking about features. Like in the features, like the specifications blocks for Amazon, things like that. Yes, you want to keep it short and sweet and exactly what your product includes as far as materials, sizing, all those different things. Yeah. The particular features that you are providing with this product. Mm-hmm. And we're going to get into this in the product description as well. Thinking about your keywords, first of all, and including those in there, and then thinking about how those features actually benefit your customers. So in the bullet points, I would keep it pretty dry. I would keep it, bare bones, exactly what they're looking for, so that people who scan through can see and find what they're looking for right away, and then they can move on to the actual copy and read through more. Now, Amazon is not necessarily the place, in my opinion, to go into like a huge brand message story. People go to your website for that kind of thing. On Amazon, they're really just looking to find their most convenient, well-priced solution to whatever their problem is. Mm-hmm. So make sure when you're addressing the features of your product, you're also addressing the problems that you're solving, the solution that you're providing, the benefit that those features actually give the customer that's going to help them.
Right. So yeah, as Darian mentioned, going through the bullet points and making sure that you have the feature and the benefit. So although she said to be more dry, that does not mean that you should just list this is a handkerchief. Mm-hmm. This has lace. This is, you want to say part of that needs to be how that benefits them.
Right.
This is this handkerchief has, and then it's a handkerchief that's 48 by 48, which means, like, or you don't want to say which means, but it could be like dash, perfect size for your upcoming event.
Right.
Or, for your coat or whatever, then lace, perfect for adding a little touch of femininity or something, like it could be just like boom, boom, this, boom, boom, that.
Or even like goes well with any prom dress, if it does. Something that's specific to your niche, maybe even that's seasonal if you're going to come back and make sure to update it regularly. That's going to attract the right people at the right time.
Yeah.
And I love that you put the dash in there because Amazon is speed, efficiency, convenience, price, right? People go there because they want it now, they want it for the right price. So you can remove a lot of those filler words with dashes. Just make it really easy for people to get the message you're trying to tell them, that this is going to help them and here's how, and then let them move on with their lives.
Yeah.
Because you want them to buy quickly. They're making fast decisions on Amazon. Okay, so then let's talk about the product description, which is where you can kind of stretch those creativity muscles just a little bit. Again, Amazon is the place for speed, so we're not giving an entire brand message and we're not telling a huge story here, but the product description formula is incredibly important in how you communicate with your customer so that you can give them more information and help them really see themselves with that product.
Right. And I think for in this particular circumstance, it might be a better idea to call it something a little different, because I think when people think of product descriptions, they think of like individual product descriptions, right? But I think for this, it's more like you're almost writing just the copy.
Yeah. Because
the bullet points are closer to what people that are in Amazon and stuff are used to.
Yeah. As
far as like a quote unquote product description is concerned.
Right. And then I'm glad you brought that up, because in a lot of the things that Amazon says that they tell you must do, or you must not do, depending on the wording, is not to repeat yourself. So in our original product description formula on your website, we tell you, like, if you mention that it includes a certain materials in the actual story of it or in the process paragraph, which, we'll talk about here in a minute, you can still repeat that in the materials paragraph or in the bullet points if it's relevant. Because you're still giving the information. So like if a scanner comes to your website, they're looking at the bullet points first, you're listing that it's sterling silver, that's great. Now they're going to go up and start to read the actual paragraphs if they want to know more. And if you're mentioning again, this sterling silver necklace created blah, 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 that's still relevant. It's okay to repeat that.
Yeah, and it helps the consumer understand that this is the product they need.
Right. In Amazon, however, if you're putting it in the specifications and in the bullet points and in the product description formula, like paragraphs, and in your keyword sections and all over the place, you're repeating yourself way too much, and Amazon does not want you to do that.
Basically keyword stuffing.
Yeah. So Amazon is trying to get around that by decreasing your ranking if you're repeating that word too many times. So try not to repeat yourself. Now, if it's grammatically correct or if it just feels really weird to not say that word, definitely put that in, because good copy is still like grammatically correct. It's still able to communicate what you're trying to say. It should not be confusing or difficult to read for the customer. But
which was the entire reason why keyword stuffing was problematic. Right. It wasn't just about switching up number one spots. It was because now you had websites that made no sense, because right. They were trying to stuff so much crap into their blog posts and stuff that it was getting to the point where it almost, granted, it did to get to that extreme where people would literally have published blog posts that just had like 10,000 keywords on it. It didn't have any relevancy, any content. It would have a random headline, so that way it forced people to kind of click, very clickbait. They would just have a bunch of shit. Like it was not relevant or of value to the customer in any sense. So always make sure that you're putting the customer first, even above your own ranking, in my opinion. Like, take care of your people, everything else will come. Yeah.
And I also want to address, like, if you don't do these things, if you decide I don't want to put a product description, or I don't want to put any effort into my product description, that is going to make you lose sales to your competitors who are putting effort into that product description. So I just wanted to make sure you understand putting effort into all these different points, especially the product description, which is what people are going to read before they buy, is going to help your sales, and not to just kind of phone it in. Put effort into it.
Right.
So what is the 3-part product description formula? So many P's. So the first one is story. We've already addressed that we don't want to go too deep into brand message here. We don't want to be too fictionalized because people aren't necessarily looking to feel a whole lot on Amazon like they might with your particular brand's website. They want efficiency. They just want to know what you're trying to say. So in lieu of a story, and we also recommend this on your website too, is using a testimonial is going to be a good option here. Now there's also a section for testimonials that your customers can leave themselves, which hopefully they do because that's also going to help your ranking. But in this particular case, if you have a testimonial that you've pulled from your website or another platform, you can put that here. I would cite it and say like, pulled from our website, which is a really great plug to say like, oh, I have a website, go visit that too. But putting that there is also going to get across like a story from your customer saying like what you promise as a brand, what you say you can solve as far as their problem goes, you deliver on.
Right.
You can also talk about some pain points and kind of have that introduction paragraph for them too, is like, are you suffering from this particular problem? This is how I can solve this for you. Or this is what this product does to solve that problem.
Right.
The second paragraph is the process paragraph. And we really love this because it really speaks to people who are detail oriented. And in my opinion, people who shop on Amazon are looking for all those little details. So they're comparison shopping, which means they're not just on Amazon, they're also searching on Google and other platforms to see where there is a comparison product that has the better price and a good quality, difference there.
Sure.
So using that second paragraph to talk about how you created this particular product, where the inspiration came from, all the different things and thoughts that went into it as far as, again, objections your customers have, pain points your customers have, and what you did to solve all those problems and work out kinks and different things. That's going to go a long way toward transparency, honesty, and giving them the information they're looking for to make that purchase.
And remember, a customer is, as far as customers are concerned, a feature and a benefit that you provide them is only as good as, how do I say this? No, I'm thinking about it. As only as good as what you tell them? So basically what I'm getting at is, if they are comparison shopping and let's say they are looking at pillows, as an example, like couch pillows, they go to your Amazon page and then they go to Wayfair or something like that, right? So they go to Wayfair and it just says, pillow cover $5, as an example, right? Now, normally Wayfair has a pretty good product descriptions and stuff, but just giving an example. But then yours says pillow covers $5 or $6 or $8 or whatever it is, right? Maybe yours is a little bit more because it's hand done. But then you have that hand done. You have that guarantee, 30-day money back guarantee. You have the thing that says nickel plated zipper to keep you to ensure that it is tangle free and like there are some things that you can add that Wayfair maybe didn't. And even if Wayfair had the exact same nickel-plated zipper design, the fact that you mentioned it and they didn't means you have it as far as the customer is concerned, and that Wayfair doesn't. And that's why they need to buy your product that's $8.
Right, which is why this is so important, is because a lot of times as entrepreneurs, as creators, we know the process in detail, intimately. So the customer, though, they probably don't.
Right.
If they're buying jewelry, the customer may not be a jewelry maker. In most cases, that's going to be true. So they don't know the process. They don't know the materials involved. It might be like a no-duh thing for you, but the customer doesn't know. They just want something that's pretty, that they're looking for, that they resonate with. So exactly what Julio said. If you don't say it, you don't have it.
Right.
As far as the customer is concerned. So that's why it's so important to be detailed in all these things.
You said that a lot better than I did.
So the third paragraph is materials, add-ons, and extras. Like we said, if this comes with a bundle deal, include that information in here. So if these pair of earrings comes with a necklace, make sure you mention that this necklace pairs really well with these earrings, even if they're not included in this particular purchase.
Right.
So they can add on. Use Amazon's features of bundling those things with those different click buttons down at the bottom, because that's going to just make it more convenient for your customer again.
Exactly.
Mention the materials that haven't been mentioned yet. Just like Julio said, if it's not said, you don't have it. Mention the specifications and things that aren't already in that section. So if you find that you're limited in wording, if you're limited in space for certain things, you've got other places to put that. So just be cognizant and be strategic about where you're putting different information, where it's most relevant, and if you can't fit it somewhere, where would be a likely place your customer would be able to find it next.
Yep.
This is also a great place to lead people back to your website. Again, following Amazon's rules, and you need to keep an eye on that because they do change occasionally. But if you are allowed to put a link back to your website or put a link to get them on your email list, things like that, again, double check because some niches can and some niches cannot.
Right.
That's a really good idea. Have them follow you on social. Try to get them to stay connected with your brand in any way possible, because if you can get them off of Amazon and onto your website, onto your email list as a loyal follower, you have more access to them. You have easier access to them.
Yep.
That's the 3-paragraph structure. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where we should stop it today and maybe pick up on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, of course, if you have any questions or anything, we are going to be doing our live Q&A on Friday, so feel free to pop in and, ask. We're always more than happy to answer that. And kind of speaking about the 3-paragraph product description formula and just product descriptions in general and how they relate to your brand, we are very excited to talk about the upcoming or newly launched, I should say, DNC Marketing Branding Masterclass, Building a Better Brand. With that, I'm going to pass it on to Darian.
Okay. So if you find that these product descriptions are difficult for you, if you really do struggle with it, this Branding Masterclass goes even more in depth, and we offer you an ebook in there that helps walk you through and gives you examples on how to create product descriptions.
And that's 50 pages.
Yeah, a 50-page.
Editable ebook, so you can always, add to.
Yeah, he put a lot of effort into making it editable. So
I make sure to put that out there.
Which is really convenient. For me, I like to reuse things that I buy. So making sure that there's an ebook that I can now check all the boxes, fill in all the blanks, and then clear when I'm done and do it again. That's really important to me personally.
Yeah, well, I find it very useful. I mean, every ebook that I download is usually just a bunch of swipe copy and just people just telling me what to do, and then that's it, right? Yeah. They don't have any real homework. They don't give me the ability to fill out anything. And if I wanted to try to brainstorm things, I have to pull out a pen and paper and try to do that, and then hopefully I can condense all of that, and then I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to type it into my iPad or type it into the computer or whatever. So it becomes kind of a pain in the ass, whereas this now is just raring to go. Like you just we talk about what we're looking for, what we're doing, what we want you to do, and then the very next page is going to give you the ability to take notes and come up with ideas, and you can just type it right in right there. You can print it, you can do whatever you want to with it after the fact, or you can just save it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And it looks like our comments just refreshed and people were commenting. Sorry we didn't get to them, so we're going to get to that right now after we tell you a little bit more about the Branding Masterclass. It's everything that we talk about in that masterclass, and it's about an hour, 50 minutes of which is like jam-packed content, which we walk you through every page of your website and how you need to use that copy and how you can formulate brand message based on the 4 different customer personality types. And all the checklists and spreadsheets we mentioned, like a competition research spreadsheet, the 3-paragraph formula, an about page formula. Everything's included in the ebook that we offer there.
Right.
And we give you homework at the end of that masterclass to help you implement all these things very specifically.
Yep.
So I just put the link to the masterclass in the comments, so make sure you sign up, jump in. The masterclass is completely free, and a purpose of it is just to help you with everything that you're looking for. So if you wanted to jump into that, the first one is from Andrea. I'll just read it for you.
I can read it.
Okay.
I think. It looks like there's still stuff up there, though. Sorry, guys. It's the
thing just refreshed. Here, I'll pull it up here too. But go ahead and answer.
The comments aren't working. Okay, basically, the long and short of it from CK and Andrea were just mentioning that you can't put a link to your website because you might get kicked out of Amazon.
Yeah.
You need okay. Just don't worry about it. We'll answer after the fact if necessary.
Okay.
And CK mentioned that as well. And okay. So let's see. I joined.
Where's the masterclass from last week? Same masterclass, CK. So it's the Building a Better Brand masterclass, and that is what we just put into the comments. If that's what you're asking about.
Right. But yeah, so to just go off of what CK and Andrea was saying, I've seen that as someone who. Are you okay?
I'm trying to fix this. Sorry.
Okay. If Amazon's current rule set is to not publish your website That's where that thank you note and things like that can come into play, right? As people purchase your products, you can direct them after the fact. Again, if you are selling now, if you're drop shipping, that's going to be a much harder situation to overcome. But it's certainly something that can be done.
Right.
And then, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say with the links, like authors can do that. But a lot of other niches cannot. Certain baby brands can also do that, because there are a few other things that Amazon has rolled out specifically for that niche that can be used in that way. You can put limited links for that to landing pages and things like that for more information. But for a lot of niches, Amazon doesn't allow that.
Right. Generally speaking, I mean, pretty much every single platform, although most of them will allow you to do it to some extent, prefer native content.
Yeah.
Right. If you're on Amazon, they want you to sell via Amazon. They don't really give a crap about your website.
Yeah.
If you're on Instagram, they're going to, if you really think about it, right, how many of you sell on Instagram? It's difficult to sell stuff on Instagram unless you start paying for ads and stuff, because they don't make link sharing very easy. They don't make it accessible, right? Because they want you to stay. If you're going to do organic, basically it's not that they're not outright punishing you. They're not saying that, but if you kind of think about it, they kind of are, because they're basically saying, if you're not willing to pay us for ads, we're going to make it to where you have to put out this free organic content, and you have to stay on our platform, and you have to answer questions and engage in that.
Yeah.
We're not going to make life easy for you and get people onto your website where you can have the sales page and pop-ups and all that other stuff do the work for you.
Right, and it really depends on your perspective on that. They want to create an environment that's easy and fun for their main customers, which are people who are devouring information, versus people who are trying to sell things.
Right.
So punishing the advertisers for sure, but to focus on customer experience.
Yeah.
So depends on how you look at it, I guess.
There you go.
Wasn't last week a different subject? Okay, so we talked about content creation last week, and we gave out that ebook last week, and a lot of these things tie into the branding masterclass. So branding itself is just very all-encompassing. As far as we're concerned, everything ties in together. Funnels, brand message, website copy, content creation, email series, and we cover a lot of that in the branding masterclass, and then the rest we cover in the course. So that's what we're trying to get at there. And so the content that we talked about was that last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what you're talking about, CK. Ties into the branding message, which is what we're covering in the Building a Better Brand Masterclass, and the 4 customer personality types, which you would be doing content a little bit differently for each. So if you know more about those different customer personality types, which we teach in the masterclass, that's going to help you with that as well.
Yeah. I mean, generally we just put a lot of time, money, and energy into the masterclass, and so although every week we're going to certainly be talking about new subjects and giving you different perspectives on things and different advice on things, we're probably going to continue to promote the actual masterclass for there.
Yeah, because we put a ton of effort into being super clear and walking people through each point and giving homework and stuff, and so we want to make sure people are taking advantage and getting as much use out of it as possible.
But we are talking about different things every week, and our goal is to be providing value on top of value. So as we mentioned, if you weren't here in the very beginning, if you join us on the live Q&A on Friday, we're going to be releasing the ebook, kind of discussing the main points that we talked about here, and then going from there.
Yep.
So there you go.
And we want to do that more often. And if there are topics that you're interested in, that you would like to hear more about, learn more about, please let us know in the comments. DM us, shoot us an email if you're on our list. If you're not on our list, get on our list. All those different things.
Easy enough. I hope that answered your question, CK, and Andrea as well. And sorry if we didn't get to things as quickly this week. I don't know what happened with. We'll look over the comment chain. I don't know what happened. It didn't refresh while we were talking, and then suddenly it did. So if there were any other questions or concerns or even hellos, we'll make sure to reply and like and so forth.
Right.
But that's about it.
Yep. We appreciate y'all coming. Make sure to come back Friday, same time, same place for the Q&A and to learn a little bit more about the different things included with the Amazon platform and e-commerce and things you can do to rank better.
Exactly. All right. Well, we appreciate it. Thank y'all so much for your time, and we'll see you on Friday.
Bye.
Have a good day.